This is the second part of the poem, The Strange Affairs of Robin S. Ngangom, Part 2. And I would be happy if the first part benefited you somehow in any way. So, what do you think about the poem? You can share your thoughts in the comments section. So, let's begin. Hands filled with love, I touch your healing breast. Like the beaten up past, scars appeared on your body. I asked, who branded the moon skin of my love, who used you like a toy doll. Only my hands disappear and return to me, mutilated with guilt. So the poet here uses, personification and refers to his native land, which is Manipur, as a woman. So his love for Manipur is unmistakably very, very high. And when he observes from a closer spot, let's call it a vantage point, he sees the divide among the tribes. So he tried to touch the land, see the land, feel the land, and absorb the land with lots of love and care. But the land is going to reject him. So it is the same divide which scarred the land since historical times, is aware of that. The poet still believes in the healing capacity of Manipur, how Manipur healed and how Manipur recovered from such, nonsensical ethnic divides and wars and fights and killings. So the poet believes in the nurturing nature of the motherland, but he is devastated when he witnesses such scars on his tender land. Therefore, he asks this question: like the beaten up past, scars appeared on your body. I ask, who branded the moon's skin of my love, who used you like a toy doll? So the point here is asking who has dirtied the moon-like skin of his native land, and also the beauty of the land has been tarnished by everyone. And also, the land has been used as a toy by many. Using of the toy is, one of the uh, images that you would find often in Manipuri poetry. This means that the land has been exploited. It has been tortured and violated. So the poet wonders if there are other persons who are trying to heal the land, or is it just him? Therefore, he confesses, only my hands disappear and return to me, mutilated with guilt. So the land that heals makes his hands disappear, which means that it is extreme pain, and when he reaches out, the land rejects his hands. It could be out of fear. The land might be, thinking that it is another hand which is trying to touch the land with ill will. The sorrow of the land makes him feel guilty, and by mutilated, the poet means to say that his hand is no longer the hand he used to have, because the agony, the remorse, the crack and hatred, etc., etc., make his hand suffer and proved to be one which receives pain equally. So that guilt factor is there because he wasn't there, in time to bring peace, heal the land. So there is this, guilt factor, and the fact that his hand is rejected by the land worries the poet. When I return with heavy heart towards my burning land, the hills, woman, scream your name. Soldiers with black scarves, like mime artists, turn them in seconds into shrouds. For the trucks carrying the appliances of death and devastation, for the eager rescuer in his armored car, for the first visitor to the fabled homeland, the graves of youths who died in confusion are the only milestones in the city, but the hills lie draped in mist. Instead of your musk, I inhale the acrid smoke of Gelignite empires. So far, the poet had been reminiscing and commenting from outside the Manipur. So here in this stanza, the poet speaks from the hills of Manipur. Here also, the poet addresses Manipur as my love and woman, of course. So not just for the poet, Manipur is in fact a burning land, and you will hear her scream everywhere because it's burning. Many people are dying, our children are killing one another. So this killing happens more in the hills where the ethnic lines between the Kukis and Nagas prove to be historically very, very fragile. Every time there is violence in the hills, the violence is carried out taking your name. That's what the poet is trying to say here. So to be included or excluded or any other such demands take place in your name, in the name of Manipur, to be excluded from Manipur or to be included in Manipur, uh, demanding sovereignty from India or demanding homeland within uh, the geographical boundary of Manipur. These are some of the things which are happening in Manipur right now. So whatever they express their frustration or lack of development, they would say in Manipur, we have no rights. We want freedom from Manipur. We want freedom from India, etc., etc. So the division on ethnic lines further promulgated by free hand given to the security forces to protect the sovereignty of the country. So security forces which are deployed in Manipur to maintain law and order turn the hills into shrouds. So that's what the poet is saying. Soldiers with black scarves, like mime artists, turn them into seconds into shrouds. So this soldier, the term soldiers can mean security forces and also can mean those so-called freedom fighters who are, killing in the name of the land. So soldiers cover their faces so that they do not get identified when they commit atrocities clandestinely, like mime artists. That's what the poet is saying. And they can alter lives within seconds. And by the appliances of that, the poet points to the weapons used in killing the civilians and the extremists. Army trucks make headway to Manipur carrying weapons. The trucks reach Manipur as defenders and the rescuers of the common people. But funnily enough, you see the dangers there is in Manipur. So they come as first visitors, like the explorers in the Victorian England, who travel to dark places for the purpose of enlightening them. So with the eager rescuers, what the eager rescuers find at the Favel homeland is the milestone of the youths died in confusion. The phrase died in confusion denotes the youths who have been misled or misguided in the name of a separate homeland or a sovereign country, freedom. Youths who are not fully matured to separate what is right from the wrong, what is propaganda from the reality. Those are the youths who died in confusion. So by the fabled homeland, the poet is talking about the golden land found by Poiriton, the great migrant. Once upon a time, there was this guy who, came and found Manipur. His name is Poiriton. So from this name, Manipur is often referred to as Poirei Maitai Lebak, the land of Poirei, meaning Poiriton and his clan. So this fabled land is said to be death and disease-free land. This land is also said to be a land with abundant rice and fish, meaning plenty of food to eat. But now this land is populated by graves, and there is death and devastation everywhere. So milestones in the city have been replaced by graves of the confused youths. It is the story of the valley of Manipur. There's so much of death, decay, and devastation. And Manipur is, of course, in shambles and rubbles. So the question is, what about the hills? There is equal uncertainty in the hills. There is death and devastation in the hills too. Therefore, instead of sweet smell of the woods, the poet inhales the smoke and galignite from the burning houses and human bodies. Instead of your mask, the mask of the hills, the woods, the fruits, the flowers, he ended up inhaling acrid smoke of galignite and pyres. With cargoes of sand and mortar, Mammon came to inspect the city. He cut down the remaining trees and carried them away like cavaders for dissection, morning papers like watered down milk, hope the same bland items, rape, extortion, ambushes, confessions, embezzlement, vendetta, sales, disappearances, marriages, obituaries, the usual. In this particular stanza, the poet calls the materialistic and the rich people mammons. That's the term used here. So, mammon is a biblical term for wealth or riches. It is a term used negatively for those who are greedy and always in pursuit of wealth. So, by bringing this term in this poem, Robin shows to us how the rich in Manipur display their wealth on luxury or luxury items, where the majority are under the poverty line. Let's see these three lines. He cut down the remaining trees and carried them away like cavaders for dissection. So what he's trying to say is that the city is filled with such people with newfound wealth, and I call them happy class, like top officials, top bureaucrats, top contractors, top uh, police persons, top doctors, and politicians. So all these people form a different sort of a class in Manipur, and I call them the happy class. As long as this happy class is happy, Manipur is fine. If there is this, difference of opinions amongst this, happy class, people of this happy class, Manipur will be in turmoil again. So the happy class is there, and what do? They would trample the poor and destitute. That's what he means by cut down the remaining trees, make them poor perpetually. To satiate their greed, they turn innocent and poor human beings into lab rats, so they cut open for their pleasure. So the poet here perfectly depicts the lawlessness and the proverbial jungle raj, which the rich and powerful have turned Manipur into. So when the state of affairs is this pathetic, in this particular condition, the newspapers will definitely carry the usual stale news like bland items. The phrase that he uses is like watered down milk, which the people of Manipur are tired of reading every day. What are those? Rape, extortion, embassies, confessions, embezzlement, vendetta, sales, disappearance, marriage, obituaries, the usual. There is talk on the streets, in dark corners, in homes, words caught by the ears of a restaurant. We honor the unwavering uncertainty and pay routine homage to silence. Everyone has correctly identified the enemy of the people. He wears a new face every morning, and freedom is asking yourself if you are free day after sullen day. So when so much is going wrong in Manipur, there is something the people of Manipur is talking about. They are certainly, they are very certain about what they have heard, what they hear, what they have seen. They have known it for a long time. The words come to them and they talk about it in dark corners, clandestinely, in a hush hush tone, and within the four walls, in homes. So the line quoted by the heirs of restaurant comes from the Manipuri saying, that line, particular line, quoted by the heirs of a restaurant, comes from the Manipuri idiom or saying, whatever you call it, Ningthaugi Manadi Faklanda Chetpane, which translates into the king's ear is on every wall. But there is restraint in the things they hear and speak because it has become extremely difficult to voice your concerns in a state like Manipur. Why? Because the freedom of speech is curtailed, and everyone who speaks up faces the wrath, the anger of the state and the powerful people. Therefore, they pay homage to silence, which means that they respect and value the significance of silence. And silence will make them live longer. As long as they don't speak up, they will live a happy life. However, each and every one of them know and have identified the greatest enemy of the people. I mean, the enemy of the land. Who is he? Who is the enemy of the land? He wears a new face every morning. He wears a new face every morning. And he changes his face every day. His silhouette takes a new shape every morning. When things go on like this, freedom goes down the drain. So freedom in Manipur is like asking if you are free because you don't have freedom at all and you don't get freedom. So you have to assure yourself, you have to, remind yourself of what freedom is. So since you did not have freedom yesterday too, so today is no different because the enemy he in the poem is the politician who are supposed to lead and guide the citizens of the land, provide them with freedom, provide them with a comfortable life, provide them with food, good roads, electricity, water supply. So all in all, in this part two, the poet is highlighting the plight of the people of Manipur. In the first part, the poet highlighted his own, understanding of Manipur as he was growing up, and he made comparisons in the first part. In the second part, he, there is this uh, sort of an analysis done by the poet as to why people are suffering so much, and why there is so much of hatred, and what the security forces are doing in Manipur. So this is second part. I hope to see you in the third part, and there will be fourth part. If you liked this poem, then please subscribe and say something in the comments.